Hello, Full Sail. My name is Dana Foley, and tonight I'm going to do my pachakcha on an art that people thought when considered a dark art, um, blacksmithing. Blacksmithing was originally started back in the Iron Age, um, probably around 490 AD, where people built these big rock areas and started a fire, allowing the heat to warm up metals and heat metals to craft into different things. Um, a blacksmith is considered different kinds of people. You had armorers, you had bladesmiths, you had chain makers, nail makers, tool makers, weapons makers. Um, Blacksmithing was used more in the medieval eras during war, and people would call upon blacksmiths to make armor for different, armies, weapons, stuff like that, helmets, shields that was used in battles. Mostly, probably around Great Britain, you know, Great Britain area is where it really set off, far as being able to use blacksmith for crafting just about anything that was used. Um, Nails, mostly used for housing, was made through a blacksmith. Um, Back in you know the era of when this was available, they used what they call bloomers, and in a bloomer, they would heat the metal completely up and take it and shape it from that one piece of metal to make anything. Um, and then in about 14, let's say 1422, 1423, they come out with a blast furnace, which completely changed everything. Charging bells, you know charging belts would lift the ore and the metals to allow it more of a combustion type of furnace. Um, Blacksmithing was also used for horses, to make horseshoes. Horseshoes now are used not just for put on horses, but for games, far as like horseshoes and stuff like that. As blacksmithing come available, they come out with many tools and built many tools to aid them in blacksmithing, to be able to reach in and grab the hot pieces of iron, without causing severe and very critical burns. After some time, people started making this an art. Crafting different artwork, anywhere from uh, legs for a table to making roses, um, out of metal, and sculpt them out of different shades of metal and different pieces of iron. Um, it has now gotten to where you can actually buy a book from a library and learn how to blacksmith in your own backyard. I mean, it's become a very popular thing. Um, you know, Back to what I was saying, artwork. People made dragons. People made roses. They made anything that you could put in a house. Picture frames, tables, chairs. You know, just simply making metal. In this day and age now, most sheet metal shops and most blacksmiths are more of an enclosed indoor area instead of being outdoor, like it used to be when the bloomers were around. Now that they use the blast furnaces, you're able to you get a better heat, and people use that now indoors. Weapons, become was very popular. Um, this unique and antique type hatchet really helped woodcutters he- um, make their job a lot easier. This is more of what a bloomer would do. It would heat one end up and make it like a bloom, and the blacksmith would beat that bloom down to something flat, and then craft around that flat into a knife or kitchenware, somewhere in that area. The hot coals were actually used from when the blacksmith closed. The hot coals were actually used in bakeries to help bake bread and help keep the ovens hot for bread makers and people who cooked meat and stuff like that. And a lot of these places was able to use this airbag, and using the airbag, it allowed the heat, to use more heat from the oxygen it brings in to make the fire hotter. Um, One of the first bloomery, was an actual a grounded one that smelted iron together to to create this big chunk and big piece. Um, even 2014, 2015, the year that we in now, uses it to make. A lot of times they use it to make our coins and stuff that we have. It's really good art. Um, this is my presentation.